Blood trickled down Adam Reed's face as he stared into the unblinking eyes of the Kreshian predator that had been hunting him for days. 7 feet tall with iridescent scales and a mouthful of dagger-like teeth, the creature had finally cornered him in the abandoned mining facility on Proxima B. Adam's hand gripped his last plasma charge, ready for a final stand, but instead of attacking, the alien predator simply sat down. "What the hell?" Adam whispered, his voice hoarse from dehydration. The Kreshian tilted its elongated head, observing him with 4 black eyes that reflected Adam's battered face. Its massive claws, designed to rip through ship hulls, retracted slightly as it settled into a position that could only be described as protective. It wasn't attacking. In fact, it appeared to be guarding him. Adam's knees buckled as the adrenaline that had kept him running for 3 days finally ebbed. He slid down against the cold metal wall of the facility, never taking his eyes off the alien. His mission to collect mineral samples from Proxima B had gone catastrophically wrong when their research vessel was attacked by a Kreshian warship. Everyone else on his team was dead, torn apart by these same predators that had boarded their ship. Everyone except him. "You're not going to kill me?" Adam asked, not expecting an answer. The Kreshian made a low rumbling sound in its throat but remained seated, its powerful muscled body coiled like a spring yet making no move toward him. The silence stretched between them. Minutes passed, then an hour. Adam's eyelids grew heavy, his exhaustion overwhelming. Despite every survival instinct screaming against it, he drifted into sleep with the alien predator watching over him. When Adam awoke, the Kreshian was still there, in exactly the same position. Outside, the blue-tinged light of Proxima Centauri filtered through the facility's cracked windows, indicating he'd slept through the night. His parched throat burned with thirst. "I need water," Adam muttered, more to himself than to the alien. To his shock, the Kreshian rose and disappeared into another section of the facility. Minutes later, it returned with something clutched in its claws, a canteen from one of Adam's dead teammates. It placed the container at Adam's feet, then resumed its seated position. Adam cautiously reached for the canteen, watching the predator for any sign of aggression. Finding none, he unscrewed the cap and drank the lukewarm water inside. "Thank you," he said, wiping his mouth. "I don't understand why you're helping me." The Kreshian's inner eyelids blinked slowly. Then, with deliberate movements, it extended one claw toward Adam's chest. Adam tensed, but the alien merely tapped a gentle talon against the medical patch on his jumpsuit, a patch that contained his ID and basic medical information, including his blood type. "My information, what about it?" The Kreshian made a series of clicking sounds that Adam couldn't interpret, but its meaning became clearer when it pointed to a jagged scar running along its own torso. Adam's scientific mind raced through possibilities. Did someone help you? A human with the same blood type? The predator didn't respond, but Adam was beginning to form a theory. 2 years earlier, there had been reports of a medical team on Europa treating an injured Kreshian found near their research station. It had been highly classified, but rumors had spread throughout the United Earth Space Command. "You think you owe humans a debt," Adam said slowly. "Or at least humans with my blood type." The Kreshian rose suddenly, causing Adam to flinch, but instead of attacking, it moved to the facility entrance, peering out at the barren landscape. Its posture changed, becoming more alert. "What is it?" Adam struggled to his feet, wincing at the pain in his ribs likely cracked during his desperate escape from the ship. The answer came in the form of distant screeching. More Kreshians were approaching. "Are they looking for you or me?" Adam asked, fear creeping back into his voice. The predator turned to face him, then made a pushing motion toward the back of the facility. "You want me to hide? But what about you?" The Kreshian's only response was to bare its teeth at the entrance, positioning itself between Adam and whatever was coming. Adam didn't need further encouragement. He grabbed the canteen and his sample bag, then staggered toward the rear exit. Before disappearing down the corridor, he looked back at his unlikely guardian. "I still don't know why you're doing this, but thank you." The next hour was a blur of fear and determination as Adam navigated the labyrinthine facility. The mining complex had been abandoned for decades, after Earth's political relationship with the Proxima Centauri colony had deteriorated. Now, it served as Adam's only hope for survival. He reached a communications room and immediately set to work, trying to power up the old equipment. If he could just send a distress signal, maybe the USC patrol that was scheduled to pass through this system in 2 days might pick it up. The sound of combat echoed through the facility, roars, screeches, and the unmistakable sound of flesh being torn. His protector was fighting its own kind. For him, Adam worked faster, connecting power cells from his equipment to the ancient comm system. The lights flickered once, twice, then stabilized as the console hummed to life. "Thank God," he breathed, typing in the emergency code sequence. "This is research scientist Adam Reed of the USC Hawking. Our vessel has been destroyed by Kreshian forces. I am the sole survivor, currently at the abandoned Proxima mining facility Alpha. Request immediate extraction. Be advised, Kreshian presence in the area." He set the message to repeat, then collapsed into a chair, his body finally giving in to the pain and exhaustion. The sounds of fighting had stopped, leaving an eerie silence that made the hair on the back of his neck stand up. Something was moving through the facility. Searching. Adam grabbed a metal pipe from a broken console and positioned himself beside the door. If it was another Kreshian, he'd go down fighting. The door slid open with a rusty groan, and Adam raised the pipe only to lower it immediately when he saw his guardian. The Kreshian was wounded, green fluid oozing from several deep gashes across its chest and arms, but it was alive. "You made it," Adam said, relief washing over him. The Predator entered the room, scanning it with quick movements of its head before settling its gaze on the now functioning comm system. It made a questioning sound. "I sent a distress call. If we're lucky, a patrol might pick it up." Adam set down his makeshift weapon and approached the injured alien. "You're hurt. Let me help you." The Kreshian backed away, growling softly. "I understand. You don't trust me that much yet." Adam pointed to his own medical kit. "But I can at least give you something for the pain." To his surprise, the Predator allowed him to approach with a syringe of universal analgesic, one of the few medicines developed that worked across most known sentient species. Adam carefully injected it into the alien's arm, avoiding the areas where its armor like scales had been torn away. "There. That should help." He stepped back, giving the creature space. "Why did you fight them? They're your kind." The Kreshian looked at him for a long moment, then tapped Adam's medical patch again before pointing to its own chest. "Blood," Adam said, understanding dawning. "Is it because we share the same blood type? Is that possible?" The Predator made no response but moved to the doorway, assuming its guarding position once more. Adam turned back to the comm system, checking that the distress signal was still transmitting. "Now we wait, I guess." Night fell on Proxima B, casting the facility in darkness. Adam had managed to scavenge some emergency rations from his sample bag, sharing them with the Kreshian despite not knowing if the alien could even digest human food. It accepted a protein bar, sniffing it cautiously before consuming it in 2 quick bites. "You know," Adam said, breaking the silence, "I should probably give you a name. I can't just keep calling you the Kreshian in my head." The Predator tilted its head, seeming to consider this. "How about Guardian, since that's what you're doing?" The alien made no objection, its attention suddenly shifting to the facility entrance. Adam tensed, but Guardian's posture didn't suggest immediate danger. "What is it?" Guardian rose, moving silently to the window. Adam followed, peering out at the rocky landscape illuminated by Proxima Centauri's reddish glow. In the distance, lights were moving, not the organic luminescence of Kreshian technology, but the familiar beam patterns of human vehicles. "They received my message," Adam said, excitement and relief flooding through him. "We need to signal them." He grabbed his emergency flare and was about to head outside when Guardian blocked his path, shaking its head in what was unmistakably a human gesture. "What's wrong? That's my rescue." Guardian pointed to the approaching lights, then made a slashing motion across its throat. "You think it's a trap, not a rescue." Adam's hopes plummeted. "But those are USC vehicle patterns." The alien's 4 eyes narrowed, and it gently pushed Adam back from the window. Adam's scientific mind raced. If the Kreshians destroyed our ship, they might have salvaged our technology, including our vehicles. Guardian nodded, confirming his suspicion, so we can't trust any apparent rescue until we confirm it's really human. Adam's shoulders slumped. But how do we do that? The Predator moved to the communications console and pointed at it insistently. You want me to contact them first. Check if they're really Yusk. Another nod. Adam returned to the console and adjusted the frequency. Approaching vehicles, this is research scientist Adam Reed. Please identify yourselves. Static crackled for several seconds before a voice responded. This is Captain Brian Walker of the Yusk Gagarin. We received your distress call, Dr. Reed. We're approaching your position now. Adam glanced at Guardian, who was listening intently. Captain Walker, can you verify your identity? Protocol Sigma 9. There was a pause before the response came. Dr. Reed, Protocol Sigma 9 requires me to inform you that today's authentication code is Blue River 7. Adam frowned. There was no such protocol in Yusk guidelines. Guardian was right, it was a trap. Understood, Captain. I'll meet you at the main entrance. Read out. He shut off the communication and turned to Guardian. They're not Yusk. The protocol I mentioned doesn't exist. The Kreshian was already moving, gathering Adam's few possessions and handing them to him. We need to leave before they reach us, Adam agreed, slinging his bag over his shoulder. But where do we go? Guardian pointed upward, the roof. But then we'd be trapped. The alien shook its head and made a sweeping motion with its arm, then pointed to the distant mountains. You know another way out, through the mountains. Guardian nodded and gestured for Adam to follow. They moved through the dark corridors of the facility, Guardian leading the way with a confidence that suggested it had explored the entire complex while Adam slept. They reached a maintenance shaft that led upward, and the Kreshian motioned for Adam to climb first. I don't know if I can, Adam admitted, looking at the rusty ladder. My ribs are pretty bad. Without hesitation, Guardian lifted him onto its back. Adam clung to the alien's scales as it climbed the shaft with remarkable agility despite its injuries. They emerged onto the roof, just as the vehicles now clearly visible as stolen Yusk rovers pulled up to the facility's main entrance. Guardian set Adam down gently and pointed to a narrow path that ran along the facility's outer wall, leading toward the craggy mountains beyond. That's our escape route, Adam whispered. The Predator nodded, then froze as voices echoed from below, Kreshian voices speaking their harsh, clicking language but using a translator to issue commands in English. Search the facility. The human must be found. Kill any deserters. Guardian nudged Adam toward the path, its message clear. They needed to move now. The journey across the treacherous mountain path was a nightmare of pain and fear for Adam. His cracked ribs protested every step, and the thin atmosphere of Proxima made breathing difficult. Guardian walked beside him, occasionally steadying him when he stumbled. They had been traveling for nearly 2 hours when the sound of pursuit reached them, the whine of anti-gravity units and the distinct clicking communication of Kreshian hunting parties. They're following our trail, Adam gasped, leaning against a rock formation to catch his breath. Guardian assessed their surroundings, then pointed to a narrow crevice in the mountainside. Adam nodded and squeezed inside, the Kreshian following with some difficulty due to its larger size. The crevice opened into a small cave that bore signs of previous habitation, not human, but not Kreshian either. The indigenous life forms of Proxima b were largely undocumented, but Adam recognized primitive tools scattered around the cave floor. Something lived here, he whispered. Guardian made a negative gesture, then pointed to the back of the cave where a tunnel led deeper into the mountain. You want us to go further in? What if whatever lives here comes back? The Kreshian responded by picking up one of the primitive stone tools and snapping it easily in its claws, then pointing to its own sharp teeth. You're saying you can protect us from whatever made these? Adam couldn't help but smile. I believe you. They continued through the tunnel, which gradually widened into a complex system of underground passages. Guardian seemed to know the way, leading Adam through turns that would have left him hopelessly lost on his own. Have you been here before? Adam asked during a brief rest. The Predator nodded, pointing to its wounds and then deeper into the tunnel. You came here when you were injured, to hide, Another nod, from your own people. Because you wouldn't hunt humans anymore, Guardian made a complex gesture that Adam couldn't interpret, then simply nodded again. I think I understand. You're a deserter in their eyes. Adam took a sip from his dwindling water supply. We're both outcasts now. The sound of their pursuers had faded, but neither of them believed they had given up the hunt. They continued moving, the tunnel gradually sloping upward until Adam could feel a fresh breeze on his face. We're reaching the surface again, he said. Guardian held up a claw in warning, then moved ahead to scout. It returned moments later and beckoned Adam to follow. They emerged onto a plateau overlooking a vast valley. In the distance, Adam could see the lights of a settlement, not the temporary structures of a mining facility, but the permanent buildings of a colony. Is that New Sacramento? Adam squinted at the distant lights. The independent colony. Guardian nodded, pointing to the settlement and then to Adam. You think I'll be safe there? But they broke away from Earth years ago. They might not welcome a Yusk scientist. The Kreshian made a dismissive gesture, then pointed to Adam's wounds and back to the colony. You're right. I need medical attention, and they're my best hope. Adam looked at his alien protector. But what about you? They definitely won't welcome a Kreshian. Guardian pointed to the mountains surrounding the valley, then to itself. You'll stay in the mountains, alone. The Predator nodded, then gently placed a clawed hand on Adam's shoulder in what could only be interpreted as a gesture of farewell. No, Adam said firmly. You saved my life. Multiple times. I'm not just going to leave you out here wounded and hunted by your own kind. Guardian made a frustrated sound, pointing more insistently at the colony. I understand the risks, Adam continued, but there has to be a way to. He was interrupted by the unmistakable sound of anti-gravity units approaching. They had been found. Guardian immediately pushed Adam toward a cluster of rocks, positioning itself between him and the approaching threat. 3 Kreshian hunters appeared over the ridge, their weapons trained on Guardian. One of them spoke through a translator. Traitor, step aside, the human is ours. Guardian responded in its native language, a series of clicks and growls that needed no translation to convey its defiance. So be it, the hunter replied. You will die with your pet. What happened next was almost too fast for Adam to follow. Guardian launched itself at the 3 hunters with a speed that belied its injuries. Claws slashed, teeth tore, and alien blood sprayed across the rocks. 2 of the hunters fell quickly, but the third managed to fire its weapon, catching Guardian in the shoulder. The energy blast sent the Predator stumbling backward, dangerously close to the edge of the plateau. Adam didn't think. He grabbed one of the primitive stone tools he had taken from the cave and charged, swinging it with all his strength at the hunter's head. The blow connected with a sickening crunch, and the Kreshian dropped to its knees. Guardian recovered quickly, finishing the hunter with a clean strike to the throat. Then it turned to Adam, its 4 eyes wide with what might have been surprise. I told you, Adam said, breathing heavily. I'm not leaving you behind. Guardian approached him slowly, then did something unexpected. It knelt before Adam, lowering its head in what appeared to be a gesture of respect or allegiance. Get up, Adam said, uncomfortable. We're equals, partners. The Kreshian rose, nodding in understanding. It pointed to the bodies of the hunters, then to the vehicles they had arrived in. You think we can use their transport? Adam asked. That would certainly be faster than walking. They approached the anti-gravity units similar to Earth motorcycles, but designed for Kreshian physiology. Guardian examined one, then gestured for Adam to climb on. I don't know how to drive this, Adam admitted. Guardian pointed to itself, then to the space behind Adam. You'll drive and I'll ride passenger, but won't that make us an obvious target? The Predator pointed to the other units, then made a programming gesture toward their communication devices. Ah, you can disable their tracking. Smart. While Guardian worked on the vehicle, Adam checked the hunter's equipment, finding water and what appeared to be medical supplies. He pocketed what he could, then returned to find Guardian waiting on the anti-gravity unit. Ready when you are, Adam said, climbing on behind the Kreshian. The journey to New Sacramento took less than an hour on the high-speed vehicle. As they approached the colony's perimeter, Guardian slowed to a stop and pointed to a service entrance that appeared minimally guarded. That's our way in. But what about you? They'll shoot a Kreshian on sight. Guardian made a series of gestures that Adam interpreted as a plan. They would enter together, with Adam explaining that Guardian was a defector who had saved his life. "That's incredibly risky," Adam said, "but I don't see many alternatives. My wounds need treatment, and you need somewhere safe from your people." They approached the service entrance slowly. The guard raised his weapon when he spotted them. "Stop right there," he shouted. "Step away from the Kreshian." Adam raised his hands. "My name is Doctor Adam Reed of the Yusk Hawking. This Kreshian saved my life. It defected from its people and is being hunted for refusing to kill humans." The guard's weapon didn't waver. "You expect me to believe a Kreshian turned against its own kind? They're genetically programmed killers." "Look at its wounds," Adam insisted. "It got those fighting other Kreshians to protect me. Please, I need medical attention, and so does it." A second guard appeared, an older woman with captain's insignia. "Stand down, Phillips. I want to hear this." She approached cautiously, her own weapon ready but not aimed directly at them. "I'm Captain Sarah Chen. You said you're Yusk. We don't have the best relationship with Earth these days." "I understand," Adam said, "but right now I'm just a human asking for help. My ship was destroyed, my team killed. This Kreshian is the only reason I'm alive." Chen studied Guardian, who had remained perfectly still during the exchange. "In 20 years on this rock, I've never heard of a Kreshian refusing to hunt. They're bred for it." "It appears this one is different," Adam replied. "It seems to have some connection to humans with my blood type. I think it might have been helped by humans before." Chen was silent for a long moment, then made a decision. "You can both come in, but the Kreshian stays under guard at all times. One wrong move and my people won't hesitate." "Understood," Adam agreed, turning to Guardian. "Did you get that? We're being allowed in, but they're nervous about you. No sudden movements." Guardian nodded slowly, keeping its claws clearly visible. They were escorted through the service entrance and into a secure area of the colony. Adam was immediately taken to the medical facility, while Guardian was directed to a reinforced containment room nearby, close enough that they could still see each other through a transparent barrier. The colony's doctor, a middle-aged man named Dr. Marcus, examined Adam's injuries with professional efficiency. 3 cracked ribs, severe dehydration, numerous lacerations, and early signs of radiation exposure, he listed. "You're lucky to be alive, Dr. Reed." "I know," Adam replied, watching as another medical team cautiously approached Guardian in the adjoining room. "Will they help it too?" Dr. Marcus followed his gaze. "Our xenobiologist is assessing its injuries. We've never treated a Kreshian before, but the physiology is documented in our database. Thank you." Adam winced as the doctor applied regenerative gel to his lacerations. "I know bringing a Kreshian here puts your colony at risk. Captain Chen has already increased our security protocols, Doctor." Marcus said, "But I have to ask, what exactly is your plan? You can't expect to keep a Kreshian predator as a pet." Adam frowned. "It's not a pet. It's an intelligent being that made a choice to protect rather than hunt. I owe it my life. Even so, the rest of its species isn't likely to appreciate its defection. Having it here could bring their wrath down on New Sacramento." "I understand that," Adam admitted, "but I couldn't just leave it out there to die." The doctor finished his treatment and helped Adam sit up. "You should rest, but knowing Captain Chen, she'll want to debrief you as soon as possible." As predicted, Captain Chen arrived at the medical facility within the hour. Adam had been given a clean set of clothes and moved to a recovery room with a clear view of Guardian's containment area. "Dr. Reed," Chen began without preamble, "I need to understand exactly what happened out there." Adam recounted the attack on the Hawking, his escape to the mining facility, and Guardian's unexpected protection. He explained their journey to New Sacramento and the pursuing Kreshian hunters. "So you believe this Kreshian is being hunted by its own kind for refusing to kill humans?" Chen asked skeptically. "Yes. It fought and killed other Kreshians to protect me, multiple times." Chen glanced at Guardian, who sat calmly in its containment room watching them. "Our xenobiologist says its wounds are consistent with your story. It's been injured by Kreshian weapons. Will it recover? Apparently, Kreshians have remarkable healing capabilities. It should be fine in a few days." Chen turned back to Adam. The question is, what do we do with it then? Before Adam could respond, an alarm blared throughout the facility. Chen immediately activated her comm unit. Report. Captain, we've detected multiple Kreshian vessels entering orbit, a panicked voice responded. They're broadcasting a demand for the return of their property, specifically the defector and Dr. Reed. Chen's expression hardened. How did they find us so quickly? Adam's mind raced. The hunters we killed, they must have had some kind of tracking beacon that activated when they didn't report back. We need to move you both immediately, Chen decided. If they know you're here, this whole colony is at risk. Move us where? There's nowhere on this planet they won't find us. Chen's comm unit chirped again. Captain, incoming transmission from the Kreshian command vessel. She activated the room's display screen, and the image of a Kreshian commander appeared larger and more heavily armored than Guardian, with distinctive markings across its scales. Humans of New Sacramento, the commander's translated voice boomed. You harbor a traitor to our species and a human who has interfered in our affairs. Return them to us immediately, or we will reduce your settlement to ash. Chen straightened her posture. This is Captain Sarah Chen. The individuals you seek are under our protection. We do not respond to threats. This is not a negotiation, human. You have 1 hour to comply. The transmission cut off, leaving the room in tense silence. That was direct, Adam said weakly. They've always been blunt, Chen replied, already activating her emergency protocols. We need to evacuate the civilian population to the underground shelters and prepare our defenses. Your defenses won't hold against a Kreshian fleet, Adam pointed out. This is my fault. I should surrender myself. And your Guardian, would you surrender it too, knowing they'll execute it for treason? Adam looked at Guardian, who had risen to its feet and was watching the commotion with alert attention. No, but I can't let your people die for us either. Chen considered this, then made a decision. There might be a third option. Come with me. She led Adam to Guardian's containment room. The Kreshian immediately approached the transparent barrier, its eyes focused on Adam. Can it understand our language? Chen asked. It seems to understand English, yes, Adam confirmed, though it can't speak it. Chen addressed Guardian directly. We have a Kreshian fleet threatening our colony because of you two. Do you understand? Guardian nodded, its expression as much as an alien face could express solemn. Do you know why they're so determined to recapture you specifically? Are you important to them? The Predator hesitated, then pointed to a distinctive pattern on its chest scales that Adam hadn't noticed before, a symbol that looked like interlocking triangles. Chen's eyes widened. That's a genetic marker. You're a brood leader. She turned to Adam. It's not just any defector, it's a high-ranking genetic template for future generations. Its defection threatens their entire breeding program. Which explains why they're willing to attack a human colony to get it back, Adam realized. Guardian made a series of gestures, pointing to itself, then to the sky, then making a slashing motion across its throat. You're willing to sacrifice yourself, Adam interpreted. No, we're not giving you up. The Kreshian shook its head and continued its gestures, more elaborate now, pointing to its communication device, then to the colony's defense systems. Chen watched carefully. I think it's suggesting we use its comm device to send a message to the fleet. What kind of message could possibly help? Adam asked. Guardian pointed to the genetic marker on its chest, then made a gesture that mimicked an explosion. Understanding dawned on Chen's face. It's suggesting we threaten to destroy its genetic material to render it useless to their breeding program if they attack us. Would that work? Adam looked skeptically at Guardian, who nodded emphatically. It might, Chen admitted. If this brood leader's genetic line is valuable enough, they might back down rather than risk losing it completely. Guardian made another gesture, mimicking a ship leaving, and you want safe passage off-world, Adam interpreted. For both of us, the Kreshian nodded. Chen considered the plan. It's risky. If they call our bluff, we're in the same position. But if they don't, it saves your colony and gives us a chance, Adam argued. What other options do we have? After a tense discussion with her security team, Chen agreed to the plan. They released Guardian from containment and brought it to the colony's communications center, where it could help craft a message its people would understand. Working with the colony's xenolinguist, Guardian composed a message in Kreshian language, which was then broadcast to the fleet in orbit. The message was simple but effective. If the Kreshians attacked New Sacramento, or attempted to recapture either Guardian or Adam, the genetic material that made Guardian valuable would be destroyed beyond recovery. The response was immediate, angry but cautious. The Kreshian commander demanded proof that they could actually destroy the genetic material. Guardian provided that proof by cutting a small section of its distinctive scale pattern and placing it in a containment field, then activating a localized energy surge that visibly damaged the sample. The message was clear. They could and would destroy what the Kreshians valued most. After hours of tense negotiation, the Kreshian fleet agreed to provide a single transport vessel for Guardian and Adam to leave Proxima B, on the condition that they never return to Kreshian-controlled space. As they prepared to board the small but faster-than-light-capable ship, Captain Chen approached them on the landing pad. "The Yusk outpost at Tau Ceti has agreed to take you in," she told Adam. "They've been notified of your unusual companion." "Thank you for everything," Adam said, shaking her hand. "I'm sorry for bringing this trouble to your colony." "Just make sure it was worth it," Chen replied, glancing at Guardian. "This is unprecedented, a Kreshian choosing to ally with humans." The scientific and diplomatic implications are enormous. Guardian, now equipped with a basic translation device, spoke for the first time in a halting electronic voice. "Not all Kreshians want war. Some remember when we traded, not hunted." Adam looked at his protector in surprise. "You've been learning to use the translator." "Yes, to explain why I guard you." Guardian touched the medical patch on Adam's jumpsuit. "Your blood saved me once, human doctor, with your blood type, fixed me when I was injured in asteroid field, said no debt. But I remember." "So you recognized my blood type on my medical patch when you were hunting me," Adam realized. "And you couldn't bring yourself to kill someone with the same blood as the person who saved you." "More than that," Guardian replied. "Saw a chance to show another way, not all humans, enemies. Not all Kreshians, predators." Captain Chen smiled slightly. "Well, Dr. Reed, it seems you've made quite an impression on your Guardian. The universe just got a lot more complicated and perhaps a little more hopeful." The ship's systems came online, indicating it was time to depart. Adam and Guardian boarded, securing themselves in the cockpit designed for Kreshian physiology but adaptable for human use. As they lifted off from New Sacramento, Adam watched the colony recede beneath them, then turned to his companion. "So, what do we do now?" "You're exiled from your people, and I've got a Kreshian Guardian that the Yusk will probably want to study extensively." Guardian's translated voice was stronger now, more confident with the system. "We show both species, another way, not predator and prey, partners." "Partners," Adam agreed. "Though you'll probably still follow me around like a very large, very dangerous guard dog." The Kreshian made a sound that the translator interpreted as laughter. "Yes, still guard you, still protect, but as equal, as friend." As their ship accelerated toward the jump point that would take them to Tau Ceti, Adam felt a strange sense of peace despite the uncertainty ahead. He had lost his research team and nearly his life, but he had gained something unprecedented: the friendship of a creature that had evolved to hunt his kind, yet had chosen to protect instead. Guardian sat beside him in the co-pilot's seat, its posture relaxed, yet alert, a predator that had refused to fight, choosing instead to guard. Together, they would show both their species that there were alternatives to the endless cycle of predator and prey. It wouldn't be easy, but as Adam glanced at his alien companion, he knew it would be worth it. The stars stretched into lines as they made the jump to faster-than-light travel, leaving Proxima B and its dangers behind, heading toward a future neither of them could have imagined just days before a human scientist and his Kreshian Guardian, united by choice rather than instinct, by compassion rather than programming. And somewhere in that uncertain future lay the possibility of peace.